YOLO. Let's face it, fossil fuels are in. They've always been in, and will probably always be in, even as we continue to move towards green renewable energies. There are just so many things that rely on oil. So I thought, what better thing to do than to take two big oil companies and pit them head to head so we can see who is the true oil champion. Now, as always, this is for educational and entertainment purposes only, so don't just go blindly investing based off of this one video. Starting off today with one of my favorite stocks of all time, ExxonMobil, ticker symbol XOM, currently sitting at $112.14. This was the first stock I ever learned how to trade options on, and I did pretty poorly at first. It took me a solid 2 months before I figured out how to generate around $200 a week running option strategies. So that first 2 months was a learning curve. But during that whole time, I became rather fond of this stock and ended up learning a bit about its history and what it started out as. ExxonMobil was originally Standard Oil, the company that was founded by John D. Rockefeller, which, love him or hate him, he was one of the most successful businessmen in all of American history, even though he did some very cutthroat business practices. Because of him, we have anti-monopoly laws that force companies to split up if they start getting a little too big or too much control. So, sort of a necessary evil, if you will. Having a long and powerful history like that has allowed the company to embed itself deeply in the oil industry. Everything from oil research and development for different petroleum-based products or advancements in engine technologies, all the way to just refineries, the crude oil, the drilling machines. They use supercomputers to calculate where the most optimal places to drill are. There's a lot of tech involved. They have a massive daily output of around 2.2 million barrels of oil per day. That's enough to fill up every car in America for 2 days straight. Massive amount of just raw material being pulled out of the earth. And this has led to some pretty good dividends as well. ExxonMobil pays 99 cents per share paid out quarterly. And they've been paying and increasing their dividends for a previous consecutive 41 years, making them a dividend aristocrat and almost a dividend king. But now let's go ahead and switch gears and turn our attention to their competitor, Chevron, ticker symbol CVX, sitting at about $158.25. This company is incredibly well established and old themselves. They actually started in 1879 during the California Gold Rush. So they've been around for quite some time. And because of that, they have the oldest corporate logo in America, with their Chevron star being 80 years old. That's older than me, my parents, my grandparents, but not quite my great-grandparents. So almost 4 to 5 generations long, this logo has existed. On top of that, they do much more than oil. They have branched out greatly in the energy diversity section. They go into geothermal energies, one of the largest companies in the world doing it. And recently in California, they've built a solar plant. All of these things combined help to make them a robust company. In 2022 alone, they had $36.5 billion in profit. That is billion with a B, B-I-L-L-I-O-N. And that's profit. So that's everything that was left over after paying all their debts, their bills, their employees. They were just sitting on a cool $36.5 billion. Now you may be wondering, what's it that they do with $36.5 billion? Well, one of the things they do is pay back their shareholders with beautiful dividends. They currently pay $1.71 per share in dividends paid out quarterly. And they've been paying their dividends and raising their dividends for a consecutive 31 years, making them a dividend aristocrat, but not quite a dividend king. So the length of consecutive dividend payments and raises, that goes to ExxonMobil. But the higher paying dividend, more than definitely goes to Chevron. But now, to get more of a complete idea of how much bang for your buck you would receive, we're going to run a hypothetical and see what a hypothetical $10,000 investment in each of these companies 20 years ago, with dividends reinvested, would be worth today, to see who really comes out on top as the ultimate oil tycoon. Starting off with ExxonMobil, a $10,000 investment 20 years ago, all dividends reinvested, would be worth roughly $35,086 today, more than 3.5 times your initial investment. And now we take a look at how Chevron would do. $10,000 investment 20 years ago, dividends reinvested, comes out to a whopping $75,000 today, double what ExxonMobil was able to produce. Double the total return, higher dividends. Not as long a increasing payment history though, but still, it seems like the clear winner is Chevron, which is kind of sad because I had my hopes set for ExxonMobil, but they just quite couldn't make the cut. But let me know in the comments below if you own either of these companies, or if you stay away from oil companies altogether in your own portfolio and invest in more of green energies and solar farms. I'd love to know, and maybe get some recommendations too if you have any. Thank you for watching, and as always, I'll catch you on the flip side.